is our morning coffee with Tuck. And I hope you got your coffee. I hope you're bright and bushy tail. For those of you on the East Coast, I know you've been up for a while. I've probably been up about as long as you have. So for those of you that are here, say hi and say welcome. We're going to talk about... I'm going to talk about what's going on today, but the main thing that's going on today is that the law is broken. Um, so... But also, I want to tell you guys something pretty interesting. Yesterday's live stream, if you were here for yesterday's live stream, got demonetized. Um, that's why I'm like, I got to really work on what I say and be careful how much I say. That's what Patreon's for. Good morning, Beth. Good morning, Mitch. Good morning, Kung Fu. All right, we got a whole. Um, I don't know. They put a yellow tag on it, which means it's been demonetized, which means I won't get anything off of any views on that video, which is fine. That's why I'm yeah, censorship. People don't realize how bad censorship is getting and how subtle it is. Donald Trump is, in so many ways, he's kind of like, he's up there. He's the PR guy, and while the rest of the shit's happening, I mean, is going into place. You guys, if you guys watch any of this series that I did release this week, you'd understand. But anyways, so I'm going to be talking about the law is broken because we're going to be talking about things that are going on with me. Per what you guys said the other day or yesterday, I'm taking that into account and making the shift because the reality is the 35 of you that are here on a regular basis, and the probably about 200 to 300 people that watch this channel on a regular basis that pretty much watch almost everything that I do. You guys, you guys are my foundation. What really gets me going, keeps me going and stuff like that. And the 25 of you or 30 of you that show up to my live streams, you guys are the ones that I listen to. You guys get to shape the direction of this channel. So I want to say thank you for your feedback. I always like feedback from my audience as long as it's constructive. Um, you know, it takes a lot of hard work. Like I was explaining to homeless entrepreneur, I could put 8 hours into a video and make $1 off of it. Whether it's being throttled back or other reasons that cause it to not really get a reach, or I'm only getting into my community, it makes it really hard to make any real money using AdSense. Now, 2, 3, 5 years ago, you could have no problem. I've noticed that even over the last year, how YouTube is really starting to throttle back. Not only what it pays people, but they're making more on ads, but yet they're paying us less. And I don't understand. Well, I do understand. I know why. I know how it's happening. I've talked about it before. But anyways, this morning at 10 o'clock, I've got to do a Zoom meeting for the court case. If you guys remember what happened a couple weeks ago, on the way into town, with my neighbor shooting at me, I now have to show up as the victim because they sent me his plea agreement, what they were going to give him. And quite frankly, that just, it told me that the system is broken. For a guy, I mean, I pointed out, gave every reason where they could like throw the book at this guy and make sure, and they're trying to be as light on this guy as possible. Oh, we're just going to give him 3 months in jail and we're going to give him 4 years of probation. 4 years of probation? Dude, that was so I have, there, yeah, no, it's not good. It's not good. That's a slap on the wrist. There's no consequence. And considering that it takes an hour and a half for the police to get out here, that piece of paper, dude, all it's doing is just giving him the ability to come here, and he's already made a threat to come to my home. Oh, what, you think a piece of paper is going to stop this guy? I'm not going to switch over to Patreon yet, but I will tomorrow, because I wanted to talk about this subject publicly. As you guys are going to follow me along on my journey, you guys want to see a lot of the stuff that I'm going to do and stuff like that. This is something that, for me to get motivated to run a legal process takes a lot. For me to be willing to, go into a courtroom, run a legal process, go through the whole rigmarole of that, and then play, play that whole process. I hate it. Um, you know, I don't like the process because there's so many deterrents that kind of slow you down in the process. It's like, no, here's the issue. I've already done my paperwork. Let's go to trial. Oh no, well, we want to do this and that and the other. So therefore it becomes a hassle if you ever want to run a legal process. And I've ran several of them. Anything from suing the city of Eugene, which that takes about 5 years, to be able to get it to trial. And that's if you can't get anything, and you have to put like public notices up and all kinds of stuff. And so when you're suing, when you're going through the legal process, it's a pain in the ass. So for me, there has to be something that really, really, really motivates me to go through that process. And there are very few things that motivate me for that. Part of the reason why I put the penalty so high, I think it's $50,000, or if it's 5,000, I need to up it to 50,000. But if you break privacy over there, you're subject to penalties, because that's part of your agreement, as part of becoming the membership, which allows me to enforce privacy over there. And so therefore the 50,000 is enough for me to be motivated. Even if I know I can't get it, I know I'm going to take a lot of shit from you if I do it. And so for me, one of the big things is like, you got to really motivate me, and this has motivated me. um and those of you that are gun rights activists, understand how this works, okay? Because this is the standard playbook of what's happening, and this is how this is going to be used against you if you're happy about your guns, okay? And that is this guy gets let off. Now this guy goes on a rampage. Let's say he comes after me. I become the victim. Now all of a sudden the politicians can sit there and say, hey, look at this heinous thing that just happened. And therefore, now they can sit there and say, well, we need to have harsher gun laws. We need to stop from the people from like him from getting guns. Well, you know what? There's already laws on the books. Nobody's enforcing the laws. They just want to keep adding more laws to it. So therefore, it makes it harder for the person that's ethical and responsible with their weapon. So it makes it so that they can't have it, and therefore puts more weapons in the hands of those who should never have weapons. This guy, if he's getting a check, he should not be. His Second Amendment rights are stripped. When you're a crazy, in order to get on disability as a crazy, you've got to be really crazy. You can't just be kind of crazy. You have to be really crazy. And from what I understand, the guy's schizophrenic. It's what I've been told, and it's what I picked up on. So he should have never had a gun. So the first thing is, you got to figure out, one, how did he get that? How was he allowed to have that? And if he was able to acquire it legally, where were the loopholes that happened that allowed this guy to have this weapon? Because he was mentally unstable and should have never had one to begin with. But things like this happen for people like him, because it's a way to be able to drum up support for more legislation to tighten the noose of control around you, whether it's your right to rebel, your right to speak, and your right to do things. And so if you're a guns rights activist, this should be something that you should be getting behind, because this is counter to your interest. Yes, people should be allowed to have guns. I completely agree. I don't think that anybody should have their right to take their gun taken away from them, with a few exceptions. If you're not responsible, if you've got severe brain chemistry issues, i.e. severe bipolar, schizophrenic, manic depression, stuff like that, where you're erratic emotionally, you should not be allowed to have a weapon, because those are the people that are the dangerous ones. The people that know how to keep a level head and composure, those are the ethical and responsible people that should be able to hold a weapon. People say, well, if I don't agree with you, I'm just gonna you well, those are the people that shouldn't have a gun, but yet those are the people that are paraded around as heroes. Mm. And this is a show of our system. So what is my next steps? What can I do to really push this home? And that's what I'm going to talk about, because I know that there's a few of you that when I start talking legal, you turn up the you turn up the volume. So let me walk you through the basic courses of action that I have. My next course of action is if they don't see, I have to. What happens on a state level? Okay, so he's being charged with state crimes. But the thing is they should have referred this case because of the letter that I sent. They should have referred this case to the FBI and the DOJ, okay, because it becomes a federal crime and it requires a federal investigation. Well, if they haven't done that, then that means that in a lot of ways they're circumventing the way that the system is supposed to work. Okay, because here's the thing: there were 16 people that were watching at that point in time. That was being in the public square. It would be like going to downtown market and pulling out a weapon and unloading it in the middle of town square. There's 16 people there. It doesn't matter if there's 100 or if there's one. There was members of the public who were not a member of the regional my community here. You know, you guys are part of my online community, but you're not part of this community here. So you guys got exposed to it. Therefore, taking it from being just a typical unlawful discharge to, because it's being done in the public square. You know, think about what happened in Vegas. Okay, it's the same thing, but you guys were protected by a screen. Um, well, the FBI is the one that has to do it, but yeah, ATF would probably, you know, run with it, but the feds would have to. My first step is the FBI, because that is the judicial arm. If I'm gonna get any federal crimes, because yeah, ATF does it, but they do it in tandem with the FBI. The ATF, I do not believe. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think that the ATF runs point on this. It would be the FBI because of being under the DOJ. But anyways, my next step would be to go to the FBI. But these guys are supposed to. They should have, especially with the letter that I sent. It should have compelled them to refer it to the feds, so that they could so that they could uh, uh, so that they could investigate it and see about charging him. Under the Patriot Act, if you make threats or commit an act of violence in public, okay, that's the key thing, is it has to be done in public. Once it's done in public, then at that point in time, at that point in time, it becomes an act of terrorism, domestic terrorism, but terrorism, because it is meant to intimidate, harass, or create terror around whatever. So that individual, whatever their motives are, when they do a discharge like that in a public square, it is automatically considered terrorism. Well, this being in the public square because it's on YouTube, will set judicial precedents. How does this play out if I'm able to get this to stick? Well, I've already told you guys I've been stalked once. Okay, when you've been stalked, when you've been stalked, and then you have a police officer come out, and his response is, well, you shouldn't be a YouTuber if you don't want this to happen to you. As if it's perfectly okay. Like, look, I can be a journalist, I can be a public figure, and now because I'm a public figure, I now have to consent to being berated, doxxed, intimidated, harassed, bullied with no recourse. So where is my right to free speech if at every turn they outline it in the law, but therefore they don't enforce it? And so therefore, as a YouTuber, this protects not just me, but now this case will be called upon for other similar cases, where if a YouTuber were in a similar situation, they would be able to exercise the full extent of the law, because judicial precedence has been set. What I'm working on is setting judicial precedence, because I do not believe that there is any judicial precedence when this comes. Now, if the FBI doesn't take it, my next step is to write a letter to the Department of Justice and Pam Bondi herself with a notice of intent to sue. You know, and at that point in time, I would be suing the Justice Department for failing to uphold the law, and they're playing politics with this. This is a case, and this is an article of the law, and therefore they are required to enforce it. Therefore, they are committing a dereliction of duty by refusing to enforce the law. Now, sometimes it works out to your benefit, and it's got to be a case-by-case basis. And on this case-by-case basis, this guy should get the full extent. thrown at him. Yeah, you don't make threats against me. You don't do so. Yeah, and the thing is it was because uh, what I've come to the conclusion of, just because of understanding the sequence of events, a lot of it had to do with the fact that I'm talking about, hey, you should if you want to get some property, you should come over. You should go over to openairproperties.net. And he did not want me trying to refer people here because he saw it as a threat to his overall survival. Because if there's too many people show up, then I won't be able to be here anymore, and they'll run me off my land. Which he's correct, but his fear wasn't necessarily irrational. The way he reacted to it and the way he allowed his emotions to control him is what really made it an issue. And so in that sense, is I doubled down. I'm like, you will not intimidate me. That's kind of why I'm able to be as independent as I am, is because I don't care. I don't care who you are, what you've got over me. When I say done and I'm done, then that means I'm done. And therefore you cannot intimidate me. You cannot coerce me. You cannot force me. You cannot compel me. When I've made my decision, I've made my decision. And, that was when that happened, that was my decision. I wasn't going to go run and hide in fear, because then he wins. He had no right to do that. If you're going to say I have constitutional rights, well, then you need to enforce them. Nobody's going to enforce them for you, and I'm living proof right now, showing that, hey, they're picking and choosing which laws that they want to enforce and which laws they don't. Okay, agreed. Tug, dude behaving like a lunatic. Yes, Chris, AI, and that would register. Okay, meant to be the work of Friar. Okay, who said too many letters in the alphabet the wrong way, Beth? We said, I swear, I saw a glitch in connectivity just now. Wow. Send a copy of what you shared with the locals. Send directly to FBI this time. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I know exactly how to do it. You have to stand your ground to have your independence. You got to teach that skill. I have been. If you want to, for $20, you can come over and I will start finishing out my legal contracting thing. But over on Patreon, I actually have I put 4 videos up. I'm waiting for someone to purchase it, because you get lifetime access to it once you've purchased it, so you can go back into it anytime. And so I can add videos and you'll get to see those. But I've got 4 to start to kind of get you going in the right direction. But for $20, yeah, I'm holding a course. It's over on Patreon. And this will teach you some of the stuff I know, but I can't teach this stuff publicly. It all has to be done privately, not only for censorship, but for other reasons as well. And quite frankly, with what I've experienced, with the knowledge that I have, I got to be careful who I share the full breadth of my knowledge with, because there are people out there that will take it and use it for malicious reasons. Because I mean, you could go out unfettered. You could be just as destructive as, let's say, Donald Trump, with this whole thing. So yeah. I will teach the skill, but I'm going to be very selective on who I teach this to, because it makes you very, very dangerous when you apply it. And so now I'm getting to a point where I'm going to apply it. Now, like I said, my first is the FBI, then it's the DOJ. And if the DOJ doesn't do anything, then I'm going to, at that point in time, what they've told me is that the law is broken. I followed my full set of options for recourse, and nobody will hear me because they don't want to deal with it for whatever reason. Instead of dealing with it because it was a crime that was committed and they are under duty as part of their oath of office to enforce the full extent of the law, not the ones that they want to, not the ones that they don't want to. And yeah, that counters to everybody, because for some people, we are able to survive because they don't enforce the full law. But in certain instances, the full law does need to be applied, and so therefore it becomes a catch-22. There are so many laws on the books that it basically makes it illegal for you to live anywhere, especially if you don't have $2,000 or $3,000 a month to live off of. But on the other hand, you can't have rogue actors like this that pose a danger to society being let out because they don't want to enforce the law. Show no fear, don't flinch, rebel for right. Yeah, you got that's kind of the way it works. Okay. Teaching control factor and teaching it is the key. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, the rules are the same for everybody. Well, they used to be. They're not like that anymore. Um, it's rules for thee, not for me. Um, that's the big problem, and that's why people are losing trust in the system. That's why, because people are seeing it as political. Um, if we really wanted to stop the onslaught of continued gun legislation, well, let's enforce what we already have on the books instead of using it as a way to intimidate certain groups of people, as a way to silence them. And that's really what the laws are being used for now. Nobody has any real freedom. Tuck, how is the feral princess? She's good, but I actually, you know what? Hold on, let me tie my shoes. We're just gonna sit back and have some coffee. I got into a deep subject. You guys probably are sitting there like, wiping your eyes, going, "Damn, it's too early for this shit." Okay, hold on. Let me tie my shoes. And then we'll take a walk around the property. Oops. I haven't put those new boot laces on yet. I should. I haven't yet, though. Okay, there we go. That should work for a minute. Takes a minute to lace up some boots. And just so you guys know, we got a contest going on. I know most of you guys are regulars. You guys know about the contest. We got 3 entries right now. You guys know how to get it. It's memberships. Patreon memberships give you double tickets. YouTube memberships give you single tickets. And then okay, let me turn this a little bit. Let's flip this around. Okay. But yeah, you can do a super chat. It's $5 entries, or you could do memberships and get double tickets, or just get tickets, however it works. But first prize is the shirt. In your size, it's the. By the way, there's the feral princess. Yeah, you get first prize is the lead dog shirt. If you guys want to see it, it's down in the description under T Public. Second place is a free membership to Inner Circle. Third place is a free membership to Digital Homesteader. All right, baby girl, you want to get up? Come on, get up. Look at how fat she is. Look at how fat she is. She has gotten fat. Come on, baby girl, let's go walk around the property. So I'm carrying the tripod around, so I don't have it as like a selfie stick. Although no, I can't take it out. Okay. So as you see, I'm gonna be working on what's it called today? I'm gonna be working on the garden, because as soon as payday comes, I need to get me some bags of dirt. Plus the dirt's really soft from all the rain that we've had over the last couple of days. It rained last night after the live stream, but hold on. Sam brought cactus thorns into the bed last night. I woke up with one deep in my toe, and got another one in my hand. Man, I couldn't imagine a face full of birdshot. Yeah. Sam, get over here. But anyways, we're almost to the edge of my property. Wow. Now that I kind of got a basic understanding of it. But look at these clouds. It says it's supposed to rain later today. That's why I haven't taken my tarp off. But as soon as that rain passes through by morning, that tarp is coming off. But right now it's not windy. Come on, Sam, this way. So here is Yeah, there we go. Hold on. Am I right about here? Okay. I'm gonna have to put something something here to market. um I wish that we could find the ground steak, but it's not here. I found them all except for this one, and this is all open. I should be able to see it pretty easily, but it's not being seen. Okay. But hey, if you want an acre of land, you should go over to Stephanie, openairproperties.net, and she's got land all over the place, whether it be Arizona, Arkansas, or Colorado. So, yeah. But it would be nice to have a community around here, to have several of you guys that have bought some property around me, because I'd really like to build my own community for my own safety and everything. That way I've got people that are like-minded, that have my back, and we already kind of know each other. So those of you that are regulars, you're thinking about buying land and you're going to go through Stephanie, I'd encourage a couple of you to come on over here to Arizona with me. I'd like to have some company. It'd be kind of nice. Clyde's coming. Um, don't know who else is coming, but we've got people coming out little by little, and so it'd be nice to have a community. And you're gonna get your best price from Stephanie. She's got, like, right over here. So next block over, right over here, she's got 3 properties, 3 acres right next to each other. So if you want 3 acres, and one of the neighbors is the neighbor that Sam, she likes to go visit their dog, or she used to. Come on, Sam, get over here. Oh, dear God, don't tell me she did this again, or I'm going to go kill her. Oh, Samantha, get over here now. Okay, well, I may have to end this early and go hunt her down. Oh, there she is. So yesterday, I had to hunt her down. 30 minutes. She was all the way over there. I don't know what's over there, but she keeps going over there. I was going to go check it out later today. Sam's Meadows. Yeah, well, here's the thing. And once she knows, like, we got family moving around and stuff like that, uh, when I let her out the door, I know she'll be running over to other people's houses and saying hi. I'm pretty sure of it. Yeah, she's very friendly, and stuff like that. But here is my corner. Samantha, get over here. You're supposed to be on the property. Now, here's the thing, though. Here it is. But if you look right there at an angle, it doesn't seem straight. I think that's where the 04 acres comes from, is because this back area may not be 100% straight. Either that, or if it is, then that means that at a 90 degree, that's where it's at, and I'm probably okay. Hold on a second. Let's go check something out. Come on, Sam. Let's go check something out real quick. Because if it's all the way over there, see, maybe I was looking in the wrong place for it. No, it doesn't look like it. Looks like I end up in the same place I always do. But here's the thing. I'm saving myself about $900 by doing it this way versus doing it versus paying somebody to come out here. So it does actually benefit to be able to go and check your own stuff out. I wonder if it's around this tree is where, I wonder. That would make, because that's where I found the last one. So what if it's in this tree? Are you guys curious like I am? Because I'm curious. Maybe we can find. Yeah, you gotta watch out these cactus, man. They will rip your clothes. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna set this here real quick because I want to look. I want to see if I can see anything. Huh. I don't see anything there. Okay. I don't see anything there. Okay, let's go around. Because if that be true, sorry, got caught on a branch. So that means it should be somewhere right about here. I'm willing to bet that this white rock is my actual boundary, because these are supposed to be square. Do we see anything around here? No. It would probably be, because this is where it is, it would probably be right around here, and I just don't see it. I don't see it. No, I'll keep looking. I keep hoping. But the thing is, that would mean, but see, we found the stake, because they're like 60 feet apart for the road. We found the stake over right here, right about here, if it's still here. I don't know. But this guy here is on 2 acres. I don't know if he even owns the 2 acres, because if you look at the way it's split, half of his property's on one, half his property's on the other. Makes me wonder if the guy's even legit. That says that's his brother's place. But anyways, all right, let's head back. All right, so we got to go look at it. Okay, Register of Deeds. A magnet on a string, maybe. Plat book available to the public library. Yeah, I can go get that. I've got all the coordinates. I've got all the information I need. What I'm looking for is I'll show you here in a second. Come on, Sam. Let's go. All right. Let's see here. So you guys will see it, but I'll show you real quick. So you see that can right there? That's the corner of my property. So if I'm looking this way, it should be in the open right here. Okay. So it should be there. But as you guys can see, so let me show you this can real quick. All right. So this is what I'm looking for. Okay. Can you see it? Yeah. So this right here, that is the stake. So you can have the plot and everything else like that. That just kind of tells you where to look. Well, yeah, Beth. Well, this right here is going to end up, because as people come in, they're going to go up through here, and they're going to wrap around, and they're going to come back out here. So I'm kind of doing a round and using the tree as the centerpiece. I don't. Here's the thing about this, though. Maybe you guys might have a little bit more knowledge than me, but the way that Farm Girl and I were planning this, because I was following her lead. Hold on. Is that okay? So let me show you. So this right here is the main tree, but as you see, it branches out, and as it branches out, it's great. It kind of, if you want it to kind of grow up and stuff like that, at least from what she was saying, is like, because you see the trees on the highway and they get really tall and really nice, but part of it's required that you prune them back and that you cut some of this off. So we were kind of cutting some of this off, but this is the main one that we want to save, because this is where we want it to go straight up. But part of me wants to keep some of these on the outside, just because of blockage and stuff. So what do you guys think? I'd love to know your opinion, because I'm still new at this. I mean, so if you guys can give me. By the way, there's my tarp on my trailer. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Well, the thing is like, okay, I'll show you over here as well. So as you see over here behind my trailer, I cut that back a little bit, and I've kind of also cut a hole through there so that I could walk through there to get out to where I go when I sit. So when I come out of my trailer, I go through those 2 trees, and we sit right here and do our live stream. So I think that I'm gonna put the dude, I think it's gonna rain. I think I'm gonna put the my burn hole. I'm gonna put it like right here because it's far enough away from everything, and it won't get into any of the driveway that I'm sculpting out. So even though I kind of don't have a lot of money, there's still things that I can do. But through you guys watching my videos, getting your memberships, and buying raffle tickets, this is how I fund the projects. And so today I am going to go show the inside of the trailer, show all the different issues that I'm having with it, and that's going to be a video that gets posted later today. I'm going to just start doing, oh yeah, the AC just got turned on. Oof. So, I mean, I'm going to show you through the trailer so that you guys can kind of see what I'm working with and what I'm working on. Because I'm debating, do I want to put, like, is it going to be more cost effective for me to build my own structure? And I just build it right over there. But I would have to wait until next year when the property's half paid off. Landscaping, cut small branches, tree grows, tall, top tree carefully. Yeah, I may, Craig, well, you and Clyde both do a lot of that. Trim it up, Tuck, looks great. Now a little trimming would help, in my opinion. Yeah, well, this is going to take some time. It's not like I've got a lifetime here. I don't have to get it all done tomorrow. It gives me things to do, things to create content on, things to share with you guys, to share along with you my journey. But at the when it comes down to it, yeah, this is just kind of a late winter, early spring is the best time to trim. Well, we're in early spring, so we've been getting a lot of rain lately. So I'll probably be doing quite a bit of trimming. But as you see, I've kind of started working on my rock garden, kind of raising that wall. I don't need to put that many rocks up there. I'm not going to make it that deep. What I need to do, and I'll probably end up doing it on payday, is I'll get me one of those hand tillers, unless one of you guys wants to send one to me. It'd be P.O. Box 212, Concho, Arizona 85924. So you can send me one of those if you'd like, because then that way I can, basically the one with claws on it that you just sit and turn and you just kind of till up, because all I need to do is to kind of till it up, put a decent layer of dirt. So I'm going to buy 10 bags. They're like, so basically I'm going to get like 20, I don't know, probably like 40-50 pounds worth of dirt, and I'm gonna spread it along there so that I've got a layer so that it can kind of mold in. It has the nutrients, it has all the right stuff, and then it can just kind of grow in there. And if I need to over time, I can just keep raising the rock wall. But I think just a couple of inches will be fine. I don't think that the amount of dirt that I'm getting, I don't think it's going to raise the level just because of how big the space is. But we'll see. Okay, a pickaxe would work too. I've got a pickaxe. I've got a little one. Yeah, yeah. The shovel turned out to be better for pulling these rocks up than the pickaxe. The pickaxe just allowed me to dig it out, but like the shovel allowed me to use like a pulley system. Here somewhere. Yes, he is. I'm sure he is. He always listens. That tree needs to be left as is. The branches are almost as big as the trunk. It will be serious cutting back, maybe killing the tree. Well, that's why I kind of want to limit when I'm cutting back, but on this. But the thing is these juniper trees is they just split. So this is natural for them. And so when you prune them up, if you want them to grow tall as trees and kind of, Samantha, get over here. if you want to grow them like tall trees and kind of have them as a wind blocker, because that was the whole purpose of us pruning back these trees, was to allow it to grow up to be kind of like something that blocks the wind. And also I need to plant some trees down near my property line so it blocks the wind, so it doesn't rock my trailer so much, and it'll kind of slow down the wind that's coming here, so it doesn't mess with like my flowers and other things that I may have around here as I build up on the property. Okay, you turn the soil with potting soil mix with the other stuff and you'll get, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm planning on doing, Craig. I think it would probably survive the prune, but yeah. Well, like I said, I'm not even sure. Like I don't know. Most of the stuff was seeming. It seems like it's not really healthy to begin with. Just because it doesn't get a lot of stuff. I may have to go do some specific research on juniper trees, but this was my overall goal, was to do something like that, or at least to prune it up to where it's healthy, because there's a lot of dead branches that just kind of sit there. And you know, it is what it is. You could probably get a juniper trees to grow, but I'm not sure. But yeah, well, they grow like an inch or two a year. So in a couple of years, you won't even be able to see my trailer. Like 100% won't be able to see my trailer. That, and I'm worried about pruning back too much because it takes away from my my anonymity. So, but anyways, guys, we are reaching that time. I've got to start getting prepared for the court thing, get my mind in place and all that other stuff. If any of you guys want one of these cups, it's down in my TeePublic store down down below. So AKA Eastern Red Cedar. Okay. You could probably get juniper trees for I'm not sure on that. Okay. Well, I'll look into it. Spruce trees are very drought tolerant. Okay. That would be good. Well, the what was it? Farm Girl was saying that, you know, skinny pines, because they just grow up real quick. But the thing about skinny pines is they stop the top wind, they don't stop the low wind. You know, so today during the hearing. Thanks, guys. All right, I will see you. I will see you guys tonight when we do our evening chat. I will see you then. Thanks for being here.